Hello, Lisa Richard here with Loving Energy Recharge, coming in to talk about the inner alchemy for April the 10th, leading us into April the 14th. Now, this is a very short window. This is a 4-day span where we are shifting into a new gate within your human design chart. And if you're new to human design, you can visit my website, lovingenergyrecharge.com. There is an introduction to human design course there that is absolutely free. You can enroll in that. You can follow the link to get your own birth chart and then walk through learning about components of yourself. Now, in the teachings of human design, and human design also branches off into the gene keys, which is an even deeper aspect to this, we are now entering gate number 42. This is the gate of increase. It is found down in the sacral center. So we just came out of the heart center. We've been up in the heart for the last 2 weeks. We've had opportunities to look at control. We've had opportunities to look at what agitates us. We've been given some doses of energy to arouse the spirit within ourselves, to look at how do we relate to the community, the tribe, the larger picture, and really being encouraged to come out of this small, it's all about me, to we are in this together. So we've been really challenged with some of this energy in a loving way. We also went through a new moon in Aries and a solar eclipse. And that was really helping us to understand that when we look at an eclipse, and we're just entering eclipse season now, when we look at the eclipse, we're seeing the shadow, we're seeing the light. It is reminding us that we have both within ourselves. Now, a lot of times we don't want to look at our faults and we don't want to look at our shadow tendencies. We want people to see us in our best. We want things to appear to be perfect. But that is a shadow energy right there because you're not fooling anyone else. What is happening is you are depleting your life force energy trying to be somebody that you're not. Now, understanding that is going to lead us into gate 42, the gate of increase, down in our sacral center for this next 4-day period. The sacral center is your life force energy. And if you are a generator or a manifesting generator, which is 70% of those who go through the human design and they find out their category, there's 5 different types. 70% is going to be classified as generator or manifesting generator. And this is why. You're the only ones that have consistent energy feeding into that sacral center. The sacral center is the life force. So when you think of the life force, this is how we are sustaining our workforce, our families, our communities, right? There has to be consistent energy there to feed into what we are building. So that is the role of the generators and manifesting generators, is to build the new world. That means coming away from slave energy, for putting your life force towards things that do not resonate with your heart, with your soul, with the global contents of what do we want to support our children with? If we are planting seeds at this time, what do we want to nourish into the soil, the groundwork, the framework in order to support the generations to come? So you play a very, very vital role in the accumulation of this energy of increase that is coming to us over this 4-day period. And even if you do not have a sacral center defined, so this is our projectors, our manifestors, our reflectors, you are at the mercy of feeling the quality of other people's life force energy. So if we're stepping into a time where we're starting to realize the benefits of coming together, of building communities, collaborations, increasing love, increasing light, then we can see how important it is to support each and every type to be the best version of themselves in order to benefit the whole. You can see that as, we're all a piece of the puzzle. You were designed to fit absolutely perfectly in where you've been placed in the universal cosmic puzzle. But we try so hard to try to place ourselves where we do not fit, instead of understanding that we all have a vital role and we all contribute to the whole. So as we're stepping into this 4-day window of really looking at that sacral energy and looking at the concept of increase, think of this as vibrational energy. If you're going to increase the vibration that you're sending out into the world, your contribution, what do you want to send out? And you have to really feel into the awareness of what it is that we are doing as individuals, because this isn't about blaming somebody else, right? Somebody else doesn't make you feel a certain way. Emotions can only hurt you when you believe it to be true. So if somebody lashes out at you and somebody criticizes you and somebody spews some words upon you, and you take that into the heart of you and it affects you in a negative way, there's a part of you that is still believing that that is true. And when we look at that heart center that we just spent some time in over the last couple of weeks, we became familiar with how that holds the self-esteem issues, the self-worth issues, trying to prove ourselves in the eyes of others, and how that depletes and takes away from pieces of yourself and your soul. Now we're trickling that down into the sacral, your creativity, your sexual identity, your relationships with others, the family unit, your relationship to your body, trusting in your gut instinct. So when we're believing those things about our character that are not true, and we're holding on to that energy within self, now we are closing ourselves off. And the shadow energy within this time frame is all about a fear of disappointment. In the teachings of the Dream Arc, this is a body of work from the Gene Keys by Richard Rudd. The animal representation of the shadow is the clam. So the clam actually relates to the female sexual organ. It also reminds us how our hearts can tend to close off to life. And it is actually the way of the divine feminine, the feminine energy that then knows when to open back up. So the way of the feminine is looking at what has wounded you, what has hurt the heart of you, what has closed you off to stop you from living life to the fullest extent. And if you were to apply the gift of the divine feminine in there to help you reopen your heart, well, that is the way of compassion. And this is where we also see Kuan Yin, the goddess of compassion. This is where we use loving touch. So we remind ourselves we're safe to be here. You start feeding the mind healthy thoughts. So you're going to hear the negative thoughts. You're going to hear the positive thoughts. You're going to choose to focus only on loving thoughts. So this brings us into increase. This is a time for you to really work on renewing your energy, your vibrational energy, knowing that when you're accumulating things that hurt your heart and they're not of your truth, and you're believing that to be who you are, or you're so affected by how can others think that of me, then you're emanating that energy out. You're vibrating out at a lower frequency that is not who you are. This is what's keeping us stuck in the darkness of the eclipse, right? So we want to shift our perspective. We want to come over into the light. We want to take whatever that hurt is and really look at it and look at our fears of disappointment and really question, who are you afraid of disappointing the most? And I know when I sat with that for myself, what came up instantly was me. I am afraid of disappointing me. Now, when you look at that in terms of the shadow energy and the fear of disappointment, we need a little bit of that shadow. That is the seed in the teachings of the Gene Keys. The shadow is always a part of who we are. We learn to wrap that in love, and out of that, we then grow what it is that we want to bring forward into the world. So to carry a little bit of a shadow of disappointment and to be afraid of disappointing self, well, now there's an opportunity to get really honest and really clear on how can I increase the value of myself, the self-worth of myself, the self-love of myself. So when we're stepping into this 4-day window of increase, we're here to increase within ourselves what is needed the most. And that means that we're claiming the responsibility. We're not blaming someone else. We're not projecting onto someone else. We're saying, you know what? I choose. I choose to suffer. I choose to hold on to that. I choose that mindset. Therefore, I choose to allow my heart to open, to increase my vibrational energy, to know that my soul self is perfection. My human is perfectly imperfect. So we can lean into this beautiful energy of increase. We can look at the shadow of where are we afraid of disappointment. We can look at how we have a tendency to carry expectations out into the world. And I have a beautiful blog that you can read that summarizes a lot of this energy. That's on my website again, lovingenergyrecharge.com. So we're looking at expectations, we're looking at the fear of disappointment, and we're stepping into the gift of detachment. Detachment means you are seen from a higher perspective. And Shakespeare said this so well. He said, all the world is a play. And when you step back and you have a detached view, we also learn about this in coaching, in the More Than Existing Lightworker coaching. You step back, you look at yourself from a disassociated view, a detached view. It's like looking at yourself on a movie screen, right? You're looking at the world on a movie screen. And you're seeing how we all play a character and we all play a role. And we all try so hard to make sure that everything aligns for us to play that role so well. So consider, for example, how do you show up at work? How would you describe your character role in your work environment? And what do you do? What expectation do you place upon yourself or even others to ensure that you can play that role to the best of your ability? And then when you're watching this movie of yourself playing out on the screen, use some humor. Come back into that and watch those things that you tend to do with an expectation, because God forbid you should disappoint somebody. And then look deeper inside of yourself and ask, do you really care? Are you doing things? Are you increasing things that you do? But your life force energy is going, oh my God, I don't even want to do that. So are you increasing your tendency to be a slave and contribute to continually doing the things that just drain your energy? Are you catering to somebody else's bad behavior? Are you contributing to a disorganization within the workplace? Are you taking things on that are not yours to take on because you've placed an expectation that only you can do it? Right? So really look at this energy, use some beautiful humor in here, get clear with this, and then look at the benefits of increasing light and love out into the world by accepting that there's many roles to play, being detached from having to play any such role. And this is the teachings of the Buddha. Detachment, observation. It is what it is. The flower blooms regardless of the weather, and it doesn't have an expectation that it's always going to be sunshine. It just accepts whatever comes in the present moment, because that is all that is real. So when you allow yourself to open the heart, to increase love and light within yourself, and to allow the universe to place you where you're needed, to contribute your life force energy, your time, your skills, your attention, your support and encouragement to others. Well, then increase comes back through the law of attraction, because whatever you send out, you will get back. So what do you want to increase within yourself? Do you want to project out hurt and receive back more hurt? Do you want to project out love free of expectation? Because if you're placing an expectation on it, you're going to be disappointed when it doesn't show up the way you want it to show up. That links us back to the previous teachings of control that we found in the heart center. So this is a powerful time. After these 4 days of being in the center of increase, we are spending another couple of weeks in the sacral center. So in between this period of the new moon in Aries and moving us forward to the full moon that is going to come up in the sign of Scorpio, we're all in sacral energy. We're all getting some powerful lessons into the quality of our life force and what we need to start feeding ourselves. So we all have an energy reserve. Some of us have a consistent energy if you're a manifesting generator. Others are more reliant on other sources. Those around you, Mother Earth, your environment, everything matters. Trust in your body's ability to know what is the correct fuel for you, and look at how you can increase the quality of fuel that is out in the world around you. I'm sending you all so much love. I would love to see, how does this play out for you? Let us know in the comments. Let's start building a community. Let's start reaching out to others. Let us share how we have our own expectations. Let us share our shadow tendencies, not to judge, to be authentic, to pull back the layers of the false characters and to say, you know what? I mess up. I'm learning, I'm growing, I'm evolving, and I'm not ashamed of that. Because true wisdom, true empowerment, true self-esteem comes from knowing who you are. And we're designed to be so perfectly imperfect. So love that. Sending you all so much love. Namaste.